Welcome to Meeple, uniting players around the world. A 30-minute exploration of PJ and Gareth's board game experiences from across both sides of the Atlantic. Each episode they share their thoughts and opinions on the world of board games, including their favourite themes, games, hot topics, and much, much more.
And welcome to another exciting episode of Meeple. It is episode 84, and we are going to do a UKGE 2024 games recap. As always, I am PJ.
And I'm Gareth, back from the UK Games Expo.
Oh my goodness, and you wore out, man.
It was a busy. Yeah. I mean, it was 2 days. Well, an evening and a day. And I've decided that if you really work hard and you do a lot of steps and a lot of mileage, you can squeeze in buying, playing games, demoing, and Instagramming into a day. But then I had 2 days of ultimate FOMO as I left Saturday morning and all of our friends played games. So, yeah, I definitely would do. We've already booked for next year and we are doing the 4 days. But it was good. It was good. I can't believe it's been a week since we went.
I know, right?
I've got a few clips we can play from the Instagram crew. I've got a couple of overviews of a couple of games that I saw.
You missed a good episode last week,
Mr. Bosney.
Yeah,
very interesting. Very nice artwork.
Oh my
Thank you to Adam for covering. He did a splendid job.
Yeah,
you recorded that on the Friday. Yeah, when I was at the show, you
were at the show.
Yeah, and then we released it Tuesday. That worked nicely as well. That was good.
That was good. No, that was good. So, as you're testing out our fill-in co-hosts,
working
that
a
call
treat
is still out. If
anybody
anyone wants to.
In. What was from your side of the Atlantic? What did you see on your Instagrams of the UK Games Expo that you thought was interesting?
Oh man. So there were two things I think that stood out for me. The first one was just the stories. There were a lot of stories. and most of the stories centered around John from Try-Win Games.
Yeah, John is always John you could never lose. So the thing I liked about John is that he had his rucksack. And on his rucksack, he had a notice board. A notice board. With schedules. And of course, we had Instagram bingo going on. So every day, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, there was a different 9 to 12, I think it was, Instagrammers to hunt. And he had little pins that he could stick things in and where he was supposed to be, like for photo meetups. It was really useful if you weren't quite sure what to be doing. And then he had, I think it was a telescopic fishing rod, but it probably wasn't that, with a red plunger. So when he was sat down in open gaming, up went the plunger, and they went, there's John.
So we talked about that. We talked about it last year. A couple of us in the community when we were at Gen Con. We talked about putting up a little flag.
Yeah, it happens a lot in the UK.
With the Meeple to Meeple logo on it. So if I'm walking the vendor hall, you can see me and you can come run up and get a sticker or whatever, So, yeah, that's
cool. A good idea.
The second thing that stood out from this side of the Atlantic was the game SETI by CGE.
I've just posted on my Instagram.
Yeah, you did. I've seen a lot. It looks amazing.
Yes, it was for the heavy gamer in us, it was, out of all the meetings I had, the one game I was just like, man, this is good with the rotating boards, and it's kind of got two halves to the game. The first half, you're kind of preparing, so you're upgrading your different parts of the player board. And at some point, you will make contact with ET.
Mm-hmm.
But ET may not be nice. ET could be bad.
Yeah.
So you're never quite sure what you're going to encounter. And I think one of the ones... So I didn't get a full play because I had never time, but I got an overview. Was... I think you make contact and they send you some, I don't know, messaging which you decode, but it's actually really bad. And so we accelerate our technology capability, but it has a huge detrimental impact on the Earth, and the Earth
Oh,
It starts to go really. So it's really. I mean, I didn't want to get too much into them, but I was like some different scenarios that play out.
I think the surprise, maybe not the surprise, it's a pleasant surprise, was to find out that they continue to use that rewood.
Yes.
Like Kutnahora.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
All of the demo staff had this wonderful purple Kutnahora t-shirt. And I said, could I have a t-shirt? Because I love the game. And I got this look of, no, they're for staff. What a silly question that was. But if anyone's listening from Czech Games Republic, I still would love a purple Kutnahora t-shirt because they were very purple and had the print on the front. So that was good. So that's. I think everyone who I've seen who got to play, it went straight into in their top 3. I know Luke from Broken Meeple put it into his top 3 or hotness.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it's much more on the heavier side. But SM release 2024.
Yes. So you got to meet a lot of people, and you did it. You did it in a short amount of time.
Yeah. So we rocked up Thursday after I had my epic work meeting. Grabbed a beer, and then hung around just waiting for the press event. So bumped into some new Instagram friends who I hadn't met before, and then we wandered around the press event. I think it was like 6 till 7:38. There's always too much to see.
Right. Yep.
But I picked out a couple. One of the new releases at the show was Loot, Loot.
Yes.
And that's from the designer Charles Chevalier. I can't pronounce my French. Who also designed Abyss. So that was a Hachette Games release. I did get to play a game of it. But shall I play a short recording I had from Charles? Sound quality was at the press event, so it's a little bit tight. So I have tried to edit the audio, but let's listen to Charles.
Yeah.
My name is Charles. I'm one of the 2 authors of Loot. Okay, the other one is Laurent Escoffier. That is not here, unfortunately. I'm coming from France. You can hear it. So my English is not perfect.
Better my French.
Okay. So Loot is we work with Laurent on a lot of coloring game years ago, and it was the center of this game. It means that here you have something very tactic, opportunistic. Okay, it means that you place one Viking here. You can place it near the sea, near the landscape, or near another Viking. So it means that when you place here a Viking, I open new territories for the other player. So then when I place it here, I can take, for example, a wood, because it's a wood. I can take some forts, buildings, tower, etc., and I put it here on my fjord. Okay. Because the idea is that we are all a chief, a jarl of a clan of Viking, but we are looting England, for example, here together. Yeah. Okay. And then when I place it here, if I have, for example, a landscape that asks me some fights here, 3 fights, I can do it here, and it means that the power, the points from this building, okay, are upgrading. Okay. It means that at the start, the points are here, very lower, and then more and more. So if you are good to choose the good resource, the good building, and the good landscape, you can make it really great, and you become the Jarl, the king of the Viking.
Amazing. And when's this released?
Now here,
So at the show this weekend.
You come here to see Flavien or me on the booth. Okay. And
okay, great.
I can show you, make some turn of the game. Yeah, it's very rapid because it means that you play only 12 times.
Okay, so 12 turns.
Yeah, but in 12 times you can this empty fjord. The board is full, and then you will see the difference between a good Viking and not a bad one, a medium one.
Okay, just see how we get on at the weekend.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for your time.
Yeah. Thank you.
So, I had a game. the designer came over and said I was a bad Viking. We did really badly. Now, it turns out, because I got halfway through and I was like, I'm not sure this is right. We're playing it right. But so we had a teach from somebody else, and I was like, you feel a game is not being played.
Sure. Yeah.
And I was like, these rules don't quite fit. Anyway, so we finished. The designer, Charles, said, those are poor Viking scores. However, once I saw somebody bought the game and I was chatting to them, they're playing it, we realised we did one of the scoring elements wrong. But it's quite nice. You on your turn, you put a Viking out, like Charles said, and then you either gathering resources or you're raiding, and you pick those tiles up to put onto your own tile zone with its own specific scoring criteria. So it's pretty quick game. Looks pretty. And the game was released at the Expo. I'd never heard of it until I got to the show. Wouldn't even know nothing about it. So that was quite interesting. What else was at the show?
So I think what's interesting is that it's loot.
Loot. Loot. Loot.
So it's interesting because I was like, is there a loot and then a loot?
Or is it? Like, there's quite a few loot. Loot.
Yeah.
But it could be loot. Lute. But it isn't. It's loot.
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 Because you're playing as Vikings, not pirates, right?
Yeah. Playing as Vikings, and you're working your way across the board, and then you place a meeple next to any other Viking. So as other people raid, it opens up more lands. So there's quite a bit of tactical movement where if I put this down, I'm now one step closer to probably something I need. So you don't put a Viking there. You wait to try and... So that's probably the I guess the game of it is trying strategically, particularly 4 players, get it right. But yeah, so that was one game. There was another game. Go on.
Before you go any further, I think it's worth noting for everyone is that all these stories that you're telling us and that you're going to continue telling us, you had your daughter in tow with you the whole time too.
Yeah, we had Kira, whose job was to carry the bags. She was a mule. No, she did good. She played all these games with us. Well, I'm trying to think what Kira's highlight would be. We should have asked her. I should have got her to record a clip, which I haven't.
You should have.
But yeah, she went off a couple of times and played games with some other Instagrammers that she knew out of the group.
That's cool. Great.
So yeah, she's always welcome. Always comes along. It's always good to have father-daughter bonding sessions with gaming. So she certainly liked Lucassetti as well. Yeah, which is good because it's a space game and Carrie might not play. Mrs. Board Game.
Right. So you're gonna need
backup. Gonna need backup.
So after Loot, you saw what?
So I guess the other club I play is so there was a Kickstarter a while ago called Wayfarer's Tale, which was a print and play game that again walking through the hall they've turned that into a full scale board game.
Right.
Which is coming out on Kickstarter, I think, later this year. I've got a very short clip, again, audio permitting.
Right.
Hey, James here, designer of The Wayfarer's Tale. We've taken the original award-winning print and play, we've made it bigger, we've split it over these massive components. It's really tactile, it's got expansion material, it's got quests, it's got minis. Go back it.
Told you it was short.
Hey, go back it.
Back it. So the game, the artist is Tristan Rossin. So just look up the art. It's really vibrant, really bright and colourful. The print and play was excellent, really funded really well. Loads of extras to it. And this comes out, it says Kickstarter soon. I haven't even got a date. How useless of me. But yeah, that's Wayfarer's Tale. So that was, and then we played Open Gaming till about midnight. And a game that we played a lot that evening, which again I didn't know much about, I'm just going to go and get some details on it, was a game called Slide, which I didn't buy, but wish I did. So it's a simple card game where everyone you got a grid of, I think it's 4x4, all face down, randomised, and then you reveal, all the players reveal one. and then depending on the player order, which it rotates. You take one of the cards and you slide it in one of the grids. Okay. And if you have a card with the same number next to it, by the end of the 12 cards sliding in, you don't get you 0 points. You want to get 0 points. So you're trying to get pairs or triplets or quadruple cards together, so that in the game you take those away, and anywhere where you've got a single digit or diagonals, you score those, and that's bad. It's really clever. Check it out. Slide. Again, I think it's Hachette. I think it was another Hachette game. He says, looking here. Yeah, it was Gigamic, which is Hachette in the UK anyway. Okay. Slide. So we played that quite a few times in the evening.
What's the player count on Slide?
Slide is 2 to 6.
2 to 6.
Yeah, so we played 6 players. It was fun. It was good. And that's what you look. It's a filler game. Probably 15 minutes. Perfect.
So this would be a great game for, like, if you were at a work conference and you
Perfect for a work conference.
Right? And they're not gamers, but they're looking for a little something.
Absolutely.
I'm going to look for this.
Check it out.
I got a work conference this summer. Yeah.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun. And the box is like burgundy. Probably didn't stand out to me too much. But then, so Max, board runner, came along with it, who demos for Hachette, and said, check this out. And we were like, yeah, this is really good. Yeah. And Kira said, that's the one game I wish we'd bought.
Oh, wow.
So
that's high praise right there.
That is high praise. She really enjoyed that game. I think that's probably. I'm just going to look at my stats and see what other games we played that day. We played. That was it. Just a lot of games of Slide. And then it was Friday, day of the show.
There it is.
So
let me ask you a question. Okay, so I've heard you and other friends of ours who went to the expo, and they talk about it. So everything you just shared with us was Thursday. And you're saying that's not the start of the show.
That's press event, and then there's open gaming. So open gaming is, I think it was 11 o'clock on the Thursday. Obviously, some people go back to hotels, but we're all in different hotels. So the reason I'm harping on this is that both at Origins and at Gen Con, the first day is Thursday. It starts 8 a.m. Thursday morning. Yeah.
So at the UK Games Expo on Thursday, you have a press pass and you do everything you did, and then there's open gaming separately just for everyone.
Yeah, everyone could come and get tickets from 5:30. So people were collecting, because what you don't want to do is on a Friday morning collect your tickets, because that might be an hour queue.
Yeah,
and then the bring and buy opened as well, which this year was limited in terms of what you could drop off. Because I wasn't there all weekend, I didn't drop off, but I hear lots of people saying it wasn't as good because it was limited. A lot of people didn't bother, or people are trading them on Facebook groups, those kind of things. It was busy, people collecting tickets. And then when we got to Friday, usually Friday was a day where you could wander around. It wasn't too crazy compared to Saturday, which is mega. Man, Friday was busy. Yeah. Like you're with your bags and, people are in the way. It really was busy.
So that's every Friday. Day. That is every day at Gen Con. Like that.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to hear you say that. So basically what I'm hearing is that the Games Expo is 3 days, with Thursday as kind of a press day if you've got a press
pre it's like a warm up.
Okay.
Friday I would say was people go to get the games, and then by the afternoon it definitely quietened down. So I think you've got your gamers who have got some stuff and then gone to sit down, and then the Saturday is more the general public, and I wasn't there, but I heard it was epic. And then Sunday is always the quietest day, and that's probably, I think I was saying this to Nick at Board Game Review UK, next year press event, open gaming, do what I did this year, work and do some Instagram stuff, get people for demos, we were up to about 2 a.m. on the Saturday morning and play games. And then Saturday, if I was there, I would have just played games, open gaming, or in the hotel. That's it. No shopping or no wandering the trade halls. And then Sunday, I'd go back in and do those interviews I did, but where it's much quieter.
Mm-hmm.
So you get a bit more time. So do, I guess, Instagram or check out some games I just couldn't get anywhere near in terms of demo stands because it was so busy on the Saturday.
So when you were talking to these guys and doing these recordings, I know you've got the 2 wireless lapel mics. Were you using those?
Yeah, but it was so noisy.
Yeah,
that you hear the recordings from the Instagrammers where they weren't in a press event.
Mm-hmm.
The quality is so much better. So I need to think about, because in the press event, the space is just like literally lines of tables and you're about a meter apart from the next person. Mm-hmm. So there's so much interference, which is why I've been, tried to remove some noise. But again, a good experiment, but separately, it's much easier on the stands.
And I bring that up because at the last conventions where I had recordings, I had people record when they came home where it was quiet.
That's a good idea.
So
yeah.
I've never tried to do what you did.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah. Let's see. I've got a few clips from Instagrammers. So we've got some short ones. So I just asked some of the Instagram community to say what was the highlight of the Games Expo, and this is only on Friday afternoon. What they thought of the expo. So first up, we've got Cassie from Spooky Meeples.
Cassie.
Hello, this is Spooky Meeples. My best thing about the show so far has been seeing all my friends.
Beautiful. You see?
I love
your friends.
I love Cassie. She's so great.
Amazing. And I think we said this last year, but you'll pick up a theme throughout these recordings.
Mm-hmm.
I've got another one. Let's do looking for the recording.
Right.
Which I cannot even see. I found it. So we've got Sam and Damien from Meeples Abroad.
Hey everyone, Meeples Abroad here, Patton and Damien. We've had a great time walking around UKGE, and it's been great catching up with all the board game content creators, board game companies, seeing old friends and new. Our best part has to be sitting at the open gaming arena, playing board games with our Instagram crew.
Beautiful, isn't it?
Those are 2 guys I really would like to meet.
Oh, they're awesome. Just doing. Everyone I met has been awesome. Yeah. They have got some epic giveaways. If you're not on Instagram or you go and follow Meeples Abroad, they have a lot of giveaways that they've arranged on the back of that show. It was really, really good. I'm trying to think what out of the games I brought home, the game that's been the biggest surprise is Salton Sea. So it's a De Vere game.
Yes.
Which on the box, it looks so innocent. It's about geothermal energy production in the Salton Sea, which is between like the US and Mexico.
Yes.
And man, it is heavy. I mean, crunchy. Like I set up and talk Carrie, and then she was like, I don't know if I like this. Not in a bad way, but like it was so... Because you have this mechanic where... So it's worker placement, looks all very nice. Lots of work, lots of different zones. And you have money, but the money's on the back of the card also an action that's a worker placement. Oh. So you can... and money's hard to have. So you're obviously running a business. So you play the card as an action, which you do get back at the end of the round, but that's... And the good one's like $5 is gone.
Right.
Or $5 million, whatever it might be. So you're going, if I spend this money, then I lose the action. But if I use the action, I haven't got any money. So you're just trying to eke out. It's a really a worker placement economic game. You've got share slides and investments. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Highly recommend if you want a crunchy economic worker placement game, Salton Sea. And there's a De Vere game, small box, rammed to the brim with wooden components and cards.
Which is going to be an episode we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about
small games in
small boxes, big games.
Games in small boxes, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So be on the lookout for that. That's coming up. Gareth and I are going to talk about it. And Devere is like the master of a big game in a small box. Yeah.
The other game that I saw at the Hachette stands and at the press event was Middle Ages. Now,
tell me more.
I didn't think it. I thought it was an ESSA release because I saw it, and then I didn't get to play it because the queue was massive, and I was like, "No, it wasn't on the Hachette stands." So I was like, "Oh." So I crossed it off my list of not wanting it. Mm-hmm. And in front of Hachette was Waterstones, which is a big bookshop who have gone heavily into games over the last 12 months. Big stand, and right on their very front was Middle Ages, and I was like, so I think it might have been a Waterstones exclusive for the show. Anyway, grabbed it because I love Middle Ages, is one of my favourite themes, and it just looked beautiful. He's made it, I think it's the same designer as Splendor, and his first game since Splendor. And we played it 3 times at the show. We played it about 5 times this week. It plays. Is it 2 to 5? I think it's 2 to 5. I'm gonna have to go and check. I think it might be. I think it's 2 to 5. He goes and gets the stats. I'm prepared for today. Yeah, 2 to 5. Plays in about 30 minutes and about 2.25 weight. Each player's got a player board. There's I think there's 12 zones across it. So on the left-hand side, you've got your fields. Then you've got like your windmill, and then you've got like a village, and then you've got, I think, the walls. Then you've got your marketplace. You've got your barracks, the church, and the palace. So you're basically drafting tiles. So in a 4-player game, there's 5 tiles. You put your feudal lord on the space. You pick the tile, a bit like King Domino. You're moving that kind of mechanic. 4 tiles per round, 4 rounds. End of each 4 cards is an event, and you're basically trying to build it up. But when you play that tile, it will give you something like maybe the fields. It gives you a coin for every villager. When you play the barracks, if anyone has got less walls than you, then they have to give you 2 coins, and they destroy the tile furthest out from the village, which often is your fields, which just like, I guess if you were going to go raiding, they would be the first things that get destroyed. Okay. Right to the palace, which gives you lots of money and gives you little upgrades to attach to your player board. Absolutely brilliant. Like, everyone I've taught it to has just gone, really enjoyable game. It plays fast. Yeah, we played it 2, 3, and 5 players. John, Trywin Games, played it on the evening of the Friday night and went all out. I'm just going to build loads of barracks. And we hadn't really learnt any strategy. Right. So every round he just goes, oh, I've got a barracks. No one thought about maybe stopping John getting barrack tiles, or maybe building walls is a good idea. So he's like, every round he's getting 10 coins. And you go, well, the game's broken. Well, no, it's not. I mean, just like if you didn't build a wall and you let people raid, then they're going to take your stuff. So I tried it again in the 2-player game, and I got my ass whooped because Carrie went all over palaces and upgrades and just outscored me, even though I was trying to raid. So yeah, thematically brilliant, artwork's great. I hope there might be some expansions. You can see the opportunity there is. Middle Ages. I hope it's out of Gen Con for you guys.
I hope so. According to Hachette Games US, it'll be released July 24th.
That's not long. That's okay. Yeah. So Gen Con, it'll be okay, won't it?
Yeah.
When's Origins?
Well, pre-orders will ship July 24th, 2024.
Oh, it'll be fun with Gen Con.
Origins is in 2 weeks, which is June.
It won't be for that.
June 19th, yeah. But it should be there for Gen Con, hopefully.
Yeah. So so that was Middle Ages. Who else can we listen to?
Right, because you met a lot of people during Open Game.
We've got a few. So there's Jack. So Jack is the son of May, which I think is Play Together board gaming. Jack, I asked Jack what his highlight was, and this is what Jack had to say. We had a few false starts on the recording. These are the highlights of the recording I've had to edit, but it was good.
Okay.
What was the highlight of UK Games Expo today?
Best thing.
Best thing.
Yeah. I know what highlight means. Can I do a flashback instead? No. Terraria for board games. Why?
Why?
Because well, I like Terraria and just the gameplay seemed interesting.
Pretty good summary.
Yeah. I mean,
so Terraria is on Kickstarter right now. Computer game. They had a big presence. I mean, it did look. I mean, if you've played the computer game, then it had a good replication of it. Jack was super excited for Terraria and said what he said. Brilliant.
Yeah, I love it.
He was our youngest. Then we met Alex Pink Meeple. So here's some of the new Instagrammers who I hadn't met before. So for the first time this year. So let's hear what Alex had to say.
I'm Alex. I'm Pink Meeple. My absolute highlight has been meeting all the Instagrammers. I've loved walking around all of the stalls and things. Alley Cat has been absolutely beautiful. But meeting all the Instagrammers and playing games, and I'm so sad that PJ isn't here. I really wish I've met him.
Well, thank you, Alex. I wish I got to meet you too. Yeah. Well, that was nice of her.
It was nice of her. I didn't pay her either. I mean, there's no charges there. And then straight after meeting Alex, could you play Han? Or you got some really, go.
I've got an Alex story. So Thursday, press day, she was waiting for her ride to pick her up from the hotel. So I'm guessing this is 4:00 in the afternoon. I don't know. And she's like, I'm just so nervous. And I'm like, make sure you drink plenty of water.
Oh, you're
she
good dad.
She sends me a photograph of her holding, like it's just her hand holding a bottle of water. She goes, I got it covered. I was like, you're going to be fine. Yeah. I really am. I am such a dad.
Water is the fuel of an expo.
That's right. Yep.
It's good. And then with Alex was Hannah. So Hannah Plays Games. Let's see what Hannah had to say.
I'm Hannah. I'm Han Plays Games on Instagram. And the highlight for me was meeting all of the Instagrammers at the preview, especially Pink Meeple, Alex, who buddied up with me for the evening. And then actually introducing my sister to everyone, as she isn't in the online community, so we need to drag her in. But yeah, playing games with everyone. It's been amazing.
Perfect, you see.
That's awesome. I told Alex, I was like, you need a buddy. Because it was her first convention. I was like, find a buddy that you can just connect with and, take your time, pace yourself. I've been getting a lot of questions on Instagram about, hey, this is my first Gen Con. What do I do? What do I do? And of course, I tell every people, go listen to episode 1 of Meeple to Meeple.
Oh, wow.
That is what we
an episode.
Yeah, that is what we talk about. But yeah, I tell everyone just to pace yourselves. Take time. If you've got to step away, you don't have to see everything and visit with everyone all at one time.
Unless you're Gareth, who's trying to do it all in a day.
Well,
and I absolutely would spread it out because I was exhausted. So there was one stand that you'll know well. So there was Patterson Games.
Yes,
which of course is one of your favourite games. Is Distilled. And Dave Beck, who's the designer of that game, is also was demoing showing Luthia, which is coming to Kickstarter sometime this year.
This year.
So Dave gave me an overview of Luthia. Would you like to listen?
I would love to listen. Are you kidding?
Because I was super excited. I love the art, the print, the colours are so bold. All about musical instruments. Let's see what Dave had to say.
Luthier is all about crafting instruments in the golden age of classical music. You play as a luthier, head of a luthier family, where you are going to be working and helping patrons crafting instruments for them using a unique mechanic we like to call hidden bidding worker placement, where all of your different workers are your family members, and on the bottom side of their disc has a number that kind of attributes to their skill. So you get to place that out on the board. You know what it is, but others don't. So there's some hidden bidding worker placement. There's some area control with putting instruments in the orchestra itself, as well as some resource management and engine building. It's a really heavily thematic game, just like Distilled was for us at Papers and Games. This one, of course, is all about music, researching, being historically accurate with over 40 different people from music history as well. Launches on Kickstarter on July 16th, and Vincent Dutrade is the artist. We're really excited. We're going to offer some really deluxe upgrade options for those Kickstarter backers that like to see that too.
Absolutely stunning artwork.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for your time.
Thanks a lot.
It was good.
So we're going to do an episode one day and see if you can say it with me. Hidden bidding worker placement.
Hidden bidding worker placement.
Oh my God, that just sounds so cool.
The game that closest resembles it is a game called Francis Drake, which is the same size discs where you put out where you're going to visit, which is kind of like when the order. And I was like, that feels like Francis Drake. But it was you put them out on. I think it was a violin, strings, and then you flip them over. I mean, artwork. It's so bold, colourful. The gameplay looked really nice. Lots of different ways of scoring points, like going somewhere first and being kicked out.
Right.
We will try and get him on the show. So we'll try and get that in before. Well, we got a month. Was it 16th of July?
16th of July.
2 months ago. And then
I will definitely see them at Gen Con, so we should probably connect that quickly. So Craig, Get Into Games, him and his wife, they did an Instagram Live where they had just finished visiting with Paverson, looking at Luthier. And you chimed in. You came in on his Instagram Live while you were at a table. And it was very noisy.
It was impossible. I was like, that didn't work. I couldn't hear a thing.
But we could hear you because I was watching from home. So you were playing a game. It looked like you were three-dimensional. Like
yeah. I'm just going to get the image because I've now forgotten. So it was from Hachette Games.
Okay.
You were cats. Nekojima, Nekojima, Nekojima. Basically, your cats. Sorry, you are building these wooden poles, which are like telegraph wires, and then there's wires, string in different colours, and you roll a dice, and you have to pick up one of the two bits of string, a piece of string with two poles on it, all different lengths, and you stack them up. So it's a dexterity game. I'm a nightmare for it. And then sometimes you got to hang the cats on the string, but like the strings can't touch other strings. You can't touch the ground. They can't hang out. That's like Buckaroo basically, but with bits of string and wood. And I was really enjoying it, but I couldn't hear what they were saying, so I decided to abandon my Instagram Live with them.
I wish people could see you. I'm sitting here watching you describe this game, and your body is contorting as you're trying to describe it.
These games are like my nemesis. I'm not very good at dexterity games, but it turns out I won.
There you go.
Knocked it all over. So, so Luthier, go check it out.
Yep.
If you remember episode that we had the raffle right at the end, and I won a copy of Heat.
Mm-hmm.
On the Sunday, I won the next raffle, and I won a copy of Distilled. So I was like, yes. So I then sent our other friend Gareth to get the bits of promo that I didn't have on the Sunday for me, so I had the complete collection.
I love how I've backed Distilled. Craig and I have both been trying to get you to play Distilled.
I'll just go win a copy.
Right? Yeah, you win a copy, and then you got an autographed card.
That's Gareth, yeah. So
like, man,
because I said to Gareth, go and see what promos there were, and he got there, and there was one promo left, and the coins, and then the new, slightly more complex cards. I can't remember what it's called now.
Yep.
So it was the last pack of cards, and so Dave was signing. He just signed it for Gareth. So that was nice. So I haven't played it yet, but I got to say, punching that game, put it away. That is some awesome storage.
It is.
Yeah,
it is.
It's a beautiful game. The artwork's beautiful.
You need to play. It is fantastic. It is fantastic.
What else? We've got another clip.
There we go.
Board Game Weymouth, and that's Bored.
It's Dan and Paige.
Dan and Paige. What a beautiful couple. Let's see what Bev got to say.
So we are Paige and Dan from Boredom Games Weymouth.
Boredom.games.weymouth.
I should probably get the handle right.
So this has been our first UK Games Expo. We've only been able to do the 1.5 days, the Thursday night and the Friday. It's been brilliant, really.
It's been good fun.
Yeah. So I think everybody's going to say it, but I think it's the people. We met some great people at Aircon, and then we've met some great people again here. We met people at CajunCon, and it's just growing that community, and everybody's so friendly and welcoming. And we've just had a great time bumping into people and seeing lots of new friends.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah. Sitting down and playing games with people, it's been really nice this evening.
It's been brilliant.
So they squeezed it in on a day and an evening as well.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, super top.
Dan and Paige are some of the most delightful folks ever. I had they were kind enough to transport Katie and I from the hotel to CajunCon.
That's right, yeah.
And so it gave us a little bit of time. I mean, how much time do you really get to just kind of visit before the chaos of the gaming? But
yeah,
I did get to play. I got to play Terrascape with Dan at CajunCon. I don't think I got to play anything with Paige, so that's disappointing.
I think I played Kunahora with Paige. I'm pretty sure I did.
So, I'm really thrilled. I'm thrilled that they made it, and I hope more people get to meet them because they are lovely.
Yeah, we've got games day with them coming up here.
Good.
So
Good.
Yay.
Good.
Then late evening, I sat with Brad. So of my _shelf life. If you know Brad's account, he goes off on little tangents. So this is what Brad had to say. Random.
Getting a Tossit suit from the Tossit Germany. No, that hasn't happened yet because I haven't jumped them. But that will be my highlight tomorrow.
I don't know whether he jumped somebody for a Tossit suit or what the Tossit suit looks like, or whether there was even a Tossit suit at the venue. But
I don't know.
That was Brad. So if you want some comedy in your life, go check out Brad at my _shelf life.
Shelf life.
And we have one more from the other Gareth.
Oh.
So there's two OGs. There's the original Gareth, and then there's the other Gareth. So they're both called the OG. So it makes it really confusing. It's here what Ice and Dice Games had to say.
Hi, I'm the preferable Gareth, also known as Ice and Dice Games. I've just had a great time walking around, meeting great people, doing their favourite thing, amongst everyone else doing their favourite thing.
Playing games. Beautiful.
You know, that's definitely what everyone says. You hear that more and more as we really are. And as the tagline of our podcast, right, is uniting players around the world. You definitely see that. I think Gen Con to a little bit, and Essen for sure, don't. So the reality is, while we're a community and this is a hobby, it's also a business.
Yeah.
And Gen Con and Essen are not necessarily the best place for us to connect and celebrate.
It's business. It's business, isn't it? Those ones.
It's the business. Based on what I saw here on this side of the Atlantic, I think Origins, which I'll be at in 2 weeks, is really similar in terms of size and the crowd and everything as the Games Expo. So, and I'm really looking forward to that. It's also going to be Katie's first Origins. She's never been.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So here's the funny part. She was a gamer before we met, right?
Yeah.
So 15 years ago.
You went to Origins last year, didn't you?
I did. I worked for Wise Wizard Games.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Because I worked with Treasure Bell and Danielle Reynolds, who I will see. Okay, so that's exciting. Danielle Reynolds, her game Caution Signs.
Oh, yeah.
there was a pre-release at the Games Expo. It's going to be released at Origin, so we're going to try and get her on this summer. I saw her at Geekway. She's got a busy summer, so we're going to try to get her on the show soon as well. But it'll be Katie's first Origins, and I think it's going to be lovely.
Yeah, I think you should have a great time.
It's going to be a lot of fun. So, yeah.
I saw Danny Stranding posted and how different the UKGE was to US events.
Mm-hmm.
And then walking back on the Friday night, midnight, there's about a 10-minute walk back to hotels. And I was minding my own business, talking to Kira, and then with a couple of other friends. And then my friend goes, "Hey, your other friend just walked past." And this other friend was now about a minute away. And I go, "Who was he?" So it was Carly and Ross. And I was like, it was just like, I'll be running after them. So I think Carly spent the entire weekend just playing games and didn't get into the show and just chilled out. So everyone did their own thing. And I think that's important. You do what you want to do. You know, I try to get a bit of everything in. But if I had the other 3 days, I definitely would have had a day just chilled out in a hotel or chilled out in the open gaming, playing games to make the most of, I guess, the time I had there.
The thing that I noticed is for people who've never been to conventions before, there's a perception, for whatever reason, ill or bad, that you have to do everything. And I really like, somebody posted it, I know that this community is so big. I wish there were more of me to go around just so I could keep in touch with everyone. It's a real challenge. I spend most of my weekends just touching base with everyone, and it's like, but you can experience the convention at your own pace.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want. It doesn't make you a bad gamer, a good gamer. One is better than the other. I think our community is coming around to that more and not succumbing to the pressure of, I have to do everything. Now, you and I are sadists, and we must enjoy pain, so we try to do as much as we can in as short a period of time as possible. Which I guess makes me kind of a hypocrite, because I tell people they don't have to, and then I try to do it. So
you just test it to make sure that your advice is sensible, because you've got first-hand experience of how silly it is to try and do. To try and do all of it. I think
it really is.
Certainly, I guess because we did squeeze a day in, I then saw pictures of stands and games that I just must have missed.
Yeah.
Which is often what the Sunday is like. You then start reading the socials, you read people's reviews, you're like, man, where was that? And you've like walked past it 3 times, because either it's been surrounded by people or just, you can't, there's so much to look at and see.
Yep.
It is a fantastic, few days.
So, what was the highlight for you?
What's
so? Let me say
I didn't play many games. Was the highlight? So I hadn't played a game. In fact, I didn't play any games on Thursday. Slide was on Friday.
Okay.
I left Thursday without playing games because I was spending too much time talking to people.
Yeah.
And watching other people play games. So Kira was playing games, but at one point Flavian from Hashtag called me over to look at a game that's not released yet and got my opinions on. So I spent half an hour talking about that. So I just end up socializing. And I found that throughout the weekends, and it's what everyone else said. So not weekend, the Thursday, Friday. Even in the press event, I kept bumping into people who we knew, and just spent time catching up. And that's the highlight. Is still the community. I think I said it last year.
There you go.
It's crazy that a lot of these people we met through Instagram, through COVID times, and we've stayed close, whether they're from this country or from Holland or from Germany or from Belgium or from the UK. We've got a great community on Instagram, and long may it continue.
Yes. Yep. So for those of you who are listening to this, I know a lot of you wait and binge a bunch of episodes on the way to some of the conventions. So those of you who are going to Origins and are listening to this at that time, I will be at Origins on Friday. We will be there probably about 8 o'clock in the morning. We're there for the whole day. We've only got one event scheduled. So be on the lookout. I have new stickers. Yes, because I knew I was going to be at Origins for one day. So I've got new stickers to give out to everyone. And then whatever's left over, I will be giving out at Gen Con. I will be there on the Sunday of Gen Con, the last day.
Oh, see.
But
Is there a bingo at Gen Con? Because I was like Friday surprise.
No. So that's something unique in the UK. America, at least in what I've seen so far.
Make it.
We could do the bingo.
You could do it.
Well, I think the bingo should be is that everyone has to find me and take a picture with me this year.
Oh, yeah. I had that. People were hunting me down. PJ told me to find you. Where are you? I'm hiding here. So it was fun. It was really good fun. So Origins is next, 2 weeks away.
Origins is 2 weeks away.
And you're there on which day?
That is the Friday.
You're there the Friday, and then Gen Con is August, so you're there on the Sunday.
I'm there on the Sunday, August 4th. We do have a hotel room, so we're staying overnight just for the sun. So we'll be there all day Sunday, but we'll be available Sunday evening for anyone who's still around. And then we're going to drive home that day. So,
we talked about maybe staying the Sunday night the other day.
Oh, it's worth it.
Like people said to me they're playing games right till like 11 o'clock on Sunday evening, and then they went home Monday morning.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, actually, it's not a bad idea. Absolutely squeeze the most.
Because you have what? Is it a 3-hour drive for you?
2 hours.
2 hours? Yeah.
2 hours.
See, I think you should do that.
Yeah.
You should definitely do that.
So, I hope you enjoyed the episode. Thank you, PJ, for listening to my tales of the UK Games Expo.
Well, thanks for sharing with everybody. Yeah.
Hearing your tales from Origins in a couple of weeks' time.
And so, one last piece of housekeeping.
Of course.
We have a bonus episode that's going to be dropping after this one, same day. So when you're done listening to this episode, there's a bonus episode that I recorded a few days ago on my own. I talked with Ren Multamaki from Dragon Dawn Publications. We're talking about his new game that's coming to Kickstarter this summer, Verdun. He was kind enough to give me, and so we're sharing it with all of our listeners now. If you go to ddpgames.com, ddpgames.com, so Dragon Dawn Productions, right? ddpgames.com, and you enter the discount code for listeners of this podcast only. It is Meeple to Meeple with the number 2.
Nice.
You'll get a 10% discount on all products on his website. He's got several games. Listen to the bonus episode and you'll hear his story. It's only like 20, 22 minutes. Also, there was a little hiccup in the recording, so there might be really, really early on. There might seem like there was a cut. We tried to do it, record it appropriately, but Gareth's a whiz. He'll edit it.
See how my editing skills are for later. Yeah.
So I apologize for that. But again, that's Ren Multamaki from Dragon Dawn Productions. Meeple to Meeple is it's all one word with the number 2 in the middle. That's the discount code. You get 10% off of anything at ddpgames.com. So check that out. And yeah.
Good work. Well done, PJ. Thanks everyone for listening, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks everyone for listening. Please subscribe, and as always, we love to hear your thoughts and ideas. So make sure to leave those in the comments. And don't forget, you can also chat with us both on Instagram at Meeple to Meeple.